You are working 10 times harder just because you are fighting your own frequency. What if the reason you cannot experience the ultimate success, financial freedom, ease, peace, joy, and abundance because of your dominant frequency? And your dominant frequency dictates your reality. Everything that happens in your life is not based on what you do, it's based on your dominant frequency. So today I'm going to share with you the exact shift that takes you from chasing your reality to dictating your reality. And that all comes from your dominant frequency. And we are going to go deeper into the concepts that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you in limitation, that are keeping you in lack instead of wealth and abundance. And those concepts are so powerful that by the end of this video, you will know why things haven't shifted and how to shift it. And I want you to do one thing throughout this video as we go through this, because that will really allow you to see the change instantly. I want you to pay attention to the moments where resistance comes up as I speak through. Any type of resistance you feel as you hear me talk about things, I want you to just pay attention. And as you pay attention to that resistance, that will really reveal by the end of this video how your dominant frequency has been operating. So the first thing I want you to know is, what is dominant frequency? What exactly creates your dominant frequency? So the dominant frequency is based on what you majority of time think about. So your thoughts in every single moment plus what you feel, so your thinking and your feeling creates your dominant frequency. So if somebody 99% of the time they are in suffering or sadness or anger or resentment or frustration, their dominant frequency will dictate that. Even if they meditate for an hour a day, or maybe they journal for 30 minutes, or they do 5 minutes morning affirmations, that does not count for dominant frequency. Dominant frequency pays attention to what you majority of time you think and you feel. This is why it will cancel out an hour of meditation. It will pay attention to what do you do for 23 hours? How you feel for 23 hours? How you think for 23 hours, not that 1 hour meditation. It will take that in account, and that will be your dominant frequency. And the reason that matters, because your manifestations are based on your dominant frequency, not based on your affirmation, not based on your meditation, not based on your journaling, not based on any tactic, any technique that you do for your manifestation. None of those things matters, because your dominant frequency is dictating your manifestation. And this is why most people cannot manifest, because they do one thing, even if they sign up for programs or courses on manifestation, they cannot make any changes because their dominant frequency is operating in feeling sad, feeling angry, feeling why this is not working for me, why things are so hard for me, why everything is so difficult for me. So if their dominant frequency is that, then that's what they will manifest: more hard things, more difficult things, more situations that create more difficulties. And that's the pattern and the loop they will stay stuck in. So as you probably know, the frequency moves from the lowest to the highest, from the darkness to the light, from density to the lightness. The frequency moves, and we as human being, we are either on a lower frequency, or we are moving up into different vibration and frequency to move to the higher frequency, higher energy, where, by the way, your desires, they live on higher frequency. Your manifestations are on higher frequency. Because when you say that I want peace, I want joy, I want abundance, I want financial freedom, I want beautiful life filled with peace and love and joy. Do you hear what you're saying? You are talking about things that currently you are missing, right? That's why you desire that. Your desires are reflecting what you are missing right now. So, the reason those things are missing right now is because your energy and vibration is operating in the lack, in sadness, in disappointment, in frustration. And when our vibration and frequency operates in that, then it feels once I reach here, once I have that, that's why your manifestations are on a higher frequency, because they are operating and vibrating in joy, peace, love, and that is higher frequency. So when we are missing that, then we are on a lower vibration. If we feel that we are missing that, then we are on a lower vibration. So the lower vibration cannot manifest the higher vibration, higher frequency, right? It cannot, because it is missing. And anything that is missing, we cannot manifest by being in that lack, by being in that vibration that does not have it. This is why people want to shift their energy and frequency, but they cannot shift their vibration because they are predominantly focused on the lack of it. This is very, very deep things that I'm saying. So if you have to rewatch it, what I've just said, then please do, because these are the things that stop and block people, because they keep their desire in this magical world that they are one day going to get to, but they do not feel that to be true in their current reality. They don't feel it. And it's all about your energy and frequency, the feeling and the thinking. These are the things that creates your vibration, your frequency. So if they feel that they do not have it, therefore they cannot manifest it, right? So instead of focusing on manifestation techniques, focus on your thinking, focus on your feelings. So when you can feel the feeling of your desires in your current reality, in this moment, that's when you start moving up the vibration, the frequency. The truth is, what I want you to know, most people, they are operating from the place of sadness and anger, or the things that went wrong in their life. And because those emotions are so dense, their emotions are so painful, and those memories are so strong, they stay stuck in this space, dense and dark. Dense and dark, they keep operating here, because even though they try harder, they try to move up, but ultimately, because their memory, their core memory of that traumatic events or challenge that they went through, or the abandonment issue, or the rejection that they experience, that is such a core memory in their subconscious that they keep coming back to that dense and dark. So even though they may move up, but they come back to the same density, same darkness, same emotion of lower frequency, and that dominates their reality. So if your reality is not showing up the way you desire, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It is just your frequency is dominating in lack, in limitation, in suffering, in pain. So the focus should be not another manifestation tool, but actually my feeling. And this is why when I work with people, I work on their core wound. Money is very much connected to your emotions. Wealth, abundance is connected to your emotions. Your emotions, your feelings, creates your thinking, right? The way you feel, the way you operate, it creates your reality. This is why when I work with my clients, we will go to the core of the wound. Where has that stemmed from? And when we can release that core wound, the shift happens rapidly, very, very fast, because they are no longer attached to the core. They are no longer telling the same story over and over, living in that limitation over and over, feeling abandoned, feeling rejected, feeling unworthy, feeling not enough. They are not doing that anymore because they can see the truth. They can see the light. They've released themselves from those stories, those trauma, and that's why they can move up easily, and that's where their manifestation become easily and effortless. So I want to give you example of money, because money is an easy example to give, and also a lot of people want money, and a lot of people want to be abundant, and there's nothing wrong with it. Abundance is beautiful. God has created abundance for us to enjoy and live abundantly. Anyone who says that having money is, or craving money is bad or greedy, they are operating from lower vibration. They are not understanding the deeper truth of wealth and abundance. They don't understand wealth comes from God, abundance comes from God, and every time we create separation from what comes from God, we are creating separation from God. So really understand that, because a lot of people who are awakened, they have underlying feeling around money and wealth, and this is why they create separation from money. Even though they may affirm that I would love money, money loves me, I love money, and all those affirmations, that doesn't help, because on their core identity and core belief is around that money means greedy. If I want money, I'm greedy. And those are the things that keeps them in limitation, and that keeps them in separation from divine, from source, from creator, because they think money is separated. Right? So that's what I want to talk to you about. So, on one hand, you want money, you want abundance, right? Every single person on this planet, anybody who says they don't want money, they are lying, because every single human being desire to have some sort of ease in their life. Money is ease, it's convenience. It brings you ease, it gives you peace, right? So every single human being wants money. Even a guru who is living in a mountain would require some sort of money in order to be fed, in order to be provided for on some level. If money sounds slightly harder to grasp, let's talk about abundance. Let's say abundance. So receiving that, every single human desire that. They want to be abundant on some level to be able to either survive or thrive. Either way, right? So we say that we want money, right? But at the same time, a lot of people think that wealthy people are evil, or powerful people are evil, or people who have a lot of money, they must have committed some fraud. They must be scamming people. They must be doing something wrong. A lot of people believe that. So I want you to pay attention. This is why the resistance, notice any resistance comes up, any thought comes up, and anything you agree or anything you disagree as I speak. So when they say that wealthy people are evil, or powerful people are evil, or people must be committing fraud in order to have a lot of money, what are they saying? They are direct in conflict with their desire. That's a direct conflict with what they want. They want abundance, they want money, but they say wealthy people are evil, powerful people are evil. Wealth only comes by frauding or scamming people. So, what does that say about them? They want money. So, unconsciously, subconsciously, the person who believes this to be true, they will block money for themselves, because they don't want to be evil. They don't want to become that powerful person who commits fraud, who is greedy. So they will block the money that they want. And then they will wonder, why can't they have money? Because ultimately their underlying subconscious belief is this, that is congruent in their core memory, that dark and dense energy. Core memory believes this is true. This is their dominant frequency, right? That is their dominant. Even though on the surface they want money, they want success, they want freedom, they want ease, and they want peace. They want to be abundant. But the dominant frequency says, if I become rich, might become evil. If I become rich, I might commit fraud. I might commit scam. I might become somebody who I don't want to be. And I don't want to be that person. Therefore, I will remove myself from having money. And then they will keep struggling. They will keep operating here. They will keep operating here. They'll keep struggling. They'll keep suffering. They will not know why they cannot have it. And they keep living in that darkness without knowing the reason. When the truth is, money does not make people evil. Money only enhances who somebody is on a deeper level in terms of their character. Because ultimately, everyone's soul is pure. Doesn't matter who that person is. On a soul level, and I truly, truly believe that. I strongly believe that, truly believe that. There's no denying. On a soul level, everyone is pure. Every single human. Doesn't matter what things they have done. On a soul level, our soul, the light, because every single human has light. Every single human, whether they commit crime, whether they don't commit crime, whether they are a good person, whether they are a bad person, doesn't matter. They all have light, their soul. The soul is pure. So their character might not be. Their character or their conditioning or their environment might have taught them to be a thief or a criminal or somebody who do bad things. That is their character. So money only will enhance their character. But on a deeper level, that person could awaken to the higher truth ultimately. This is why we cannot permanently say that forever this person is bad and forever this person is going to be horrible. No, because we never know in what point of their journey they might awaken and they might see the light. They might recognize. They might want to come back to the light, right? So this is why we want to be mindful of that when we say that wealthy people are evil, wealth has nothing to do with that. It's only the character of the person. If you are a kind, genuine, compassionate, light, empathic person who is loving and sweet, by having money, that will be enhanced 100 folds, right? Like you will become even more nicer. You will become even more kinder. You will become even more compassionate. So money itself doesn't do that. And ultimately, the highest truth that I want you to know, from a higher perspective, I want you to know that money, abundance is in connection with God, with source, with light. It is connected. Abundance is nature. And if you don't believe me, you see the nature. Nature is extremely abundant in every possible way. And that is a confirmation that abundance, money, wealth is in connection with God. So anytime you create separation from that, you are creating separation from that source. So really understand that this conflict is a huge thing why people cannot have money. So suffering, the frequency of suffering will not give you abundance because abundance is free of suffering. Abundance is a frequency of light and love because love and abundance operates on the same frequency. It moves in the same energy. So if you are somebody who is avoiding love and you are focused on your career and success, and you are saying, oh, I don't want love. I just want money. I just want to be successful because I've been rejected. I've been abandoned in the past. Therefore, I don't want love. So actually, you're creating separation from abundance because love and abundance are one. So be very mindful that if you're chasing success, if you're chasing money, if you're chasing wealth and abundance, but you're denying love, that means you're denying abundance. This is why the core wound, the core memory, the trauma, the feelings of abandonment, feeling of unworthiness, feeling of rejection, all of that needs to go to become incongruent with the truth, the light. Light is not missing of love. It is full of love. Light is not missing of abundance. It's full of abundance, right? So we cannot create separation. We cannot say, I only want this. You are whole and complete being. You must have it all. And anything you are creating separation from, just become aware. What are you creating separation from? Shortly, I'll share with you what are the steps to change your reality by really mastering your dominant frequency. I'll share that with you in a moment. But I want you to really understand this, because ultimately, the resistance will keep you in separation. Expansion will get you into that wholeness, that completeness. So if anything that I share here and you are in resistance with, or you don't agree with, you feel like, no, that's not true, or this does not resonate, or this makes me feel uncomfortable, or this makes me trigger, just become aware, because that is just a resistance in the body. And resistance is really showing you, if there are any resistance, that your dominant frequency is in resistance to abundance, to love. So just become aware of that. And most people, like, as we're talking about money, people who want to, let's say, have millions of dollars, they will want to be wealthy, they want to be successful, they want to have freedom. And the only difference between somebody who has millions of dollars and somebody who is in lack and limitation, who is maybe has $1,000 but they want $1,000,000, the only difference is their frequency, is their energy. That's the only difference, because ultimately the wealthy person is thinking in a very, very different way than the person who does not have money. There's a very different consciousness. It's very different awareness. The wealthy person will not think in lack and limitation. They will think in abundance. They will think, oh my God, I have so much money. I need to do this. I need to invest here. I need to invest there. I need to invest there. And they will keep investing. They keep thinking about how to move forward to use that money and how to multiply their money. They're thinking very differently, right? Their dominant frequency is speaking around the feeling of millions. I have millions of dollars in my bank account. Therefore, I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to invest in this. How can I multiply my money? What kind of things I can do? How can I buy this villa? How can I buy that villa? They are more kind of thinking around that. But somebody who had less money, who is maybe $1,000 or make less money, or $10,000, doesn't matter. They are thinking about more how I can pay my bill, right? They are more thinking how I can survive, right? So their dominant frequency is operating in how I can survive, how can I pay my bill, and they feel fear and anxiety spending money, right? That is their dominant frequency. But the wealthy person does not have all of that. They're not thinking about paying their bills. Their bill just go. They probably don't even know how much bills they're paying. They probably have no idea, because they're operating in abundance. Money comes in, money goes out. Money comes in, money goes out. They are in that circulation and this movement, this flow energy. Things are happening. They're not thinking about paying bills. They're not thinking about how much money going out in a way that on a smaller level. Of course, on a bigger level, they know, but on a smaller, the daily, the weekly, the monthly thing that is going, leaving their bank account, they're not so attached to that. That is just part of the flow, right? Circulation. So really understanding the only shift is the frequency. When you can shift your dominant frequency, that's when you can start operating in abundant frequency. And when you can start operating in abundant frequency, it will feel natural to have more abundance. It will feel normal. So how do you shift that? How do you move into that? I want you to really pay attention to how you think. You can do that by really going back past 7 days and really making notes. What are the things you've been thinking about? And when you can go back and you can really look into that, you can really pay attention to that. Okay, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this. I was worried about this. I was stressed about this. I was feeling like this. I was feeling like that. I was angry with that person. I had an argument with that person. That will really give you where you are in your frequency. And if the most of the things that happened in the last 7 days, it was more fear or anxiety or sadness or anger, that is your dominant frequency. That's how you find your dominant frequency. Now you know that is your dominant frequency. What do you think it will manifest? Because whatever you think, whatever you feel, that's what is manifesting in your reality every single moment. Every single moment you are manifesting your next moment. That's what's happening. You are always manifesting, but most people are manifesting things they don't want because their thinking is based on what they don't want, right? That's what they're thinking. Oh, I don't have the money. I don't have the success. I am a failure. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Nobody loves me. Nobody supports me. What does that say? That is speaking lack. That creates sadness, that creates suffering. And then what does that create? Because universe does not focus on the word don't or not. It focused on the vibration you are sending. So when somebody says, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm lacking this, I don't have the money, I don't know how to pay the bills, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, what is the feeling? The feeling is sad, feeling is suffering, feeling is pain. And what is that frequency? That is a lack frequency. So the universe reads, oh, this person is lacking. That is the energy they're sending. Therefore, let me multiply that. Then the universe gives you more things to feel sorry about, to feel sad about. Because universe doesn't judge. That universal frequency energy, it doesn't judge. It just matches. It doesn't know good, bad. It doesn't know lack and abundance. It just matches whatever you are giving because you are the creator. That's where I want to get to. You are the creator. So it focuses on you. When people say God is not listening to me, mostly those people are not listening to themselves. They are disservicing themselves because they are operating from that lack vibration. And they're sending that lack vibration, and universal energy, it matches that lack vibration back to them. It doesn't judge. It doesn't say, oh, that's good or that's bad. It just matches. So you are the creator of your own reality. And this is why the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect says every effect is based on the cause. Every effect that we experience is directly connected to the cause. So the cause is the creator. The creator is the one who thinks and feels in a certain way. And that creator will then create their reality based on what they are creating, right? So if you are the creator, the cause, you are the cause for your reality, your effect to show up in the way that is showing up. So a lot of sadness, a lot of anger reflect into your reality, a lot of sadness, a lot of anger. More people who create more anger in you. More people who you meet who are rude, unkind, disrespectful, undervaluing you. Because these are the emotions that you are operating in. I'll tell you a really interesting example. A while ago, I was invited for this speaking opportunity, and I remember I told a friend at that time, I got really excited. And it was at a time where I was going back and forth in my vibration and frequency. So I was not congruently vibrating on a higher frequency. I would go up and down. So higher, lower. So I met with this friend who I knew from a long, long time. I told them that, hey, this opportunity came for speaking, and they got offended. They got offended for whatever reason. They got offended. They were like, oh, why would they call you to speak? Like they were operating from that energy. And when they got offended and when they spoke to me like that, why would they invite you, kind of thing? That's how she spoke. And in that moment, I got really upset. I was like, oh my God, she's not happy for me. She's not happy for me. But the way she said it, it was more like, why would they invite you? She was from very, very traditional way of thinking of 9 to 5 and just struggle to pay your bills and work hard. And just to give you a context on that. So when I told her, and she reflected that back to me in a way that, who do you think you are? Why would they invite you? I mean, who are you, kind of thing. That was her energy, and the way, that's how she spoke. And that really upset me. I was very upset. I was like, why did she say that? Like, why is she not happy for me? And after a while, it took me probably a day, and something really profound dropped in my awareness, that the reason she was saying that to me, because on some level I have been saying that to myself. She was reflecting my own energy on some level. So I was not fully feeling worthy. So I was doubting, or had that energy in me, or that wound in me, that who do I think I am? Why would people want me? Why would people want to hear me? Right? Why would people want me to speak, kind of thing? Like, I had really deep, that was a deeper wound that was within me, that was reflected through her. So I'm so grateful that she reflected that to me after I realized that, because if she did not say that, I had no idea that that was actually within me. And this is why I went and met with her, so that she could reflect that back, so that I could see how I was operating in that darkness, in that wounded energy, that was, even though I was getting opportunities, but I was not fully embodying it. I was still doubting it. I was still not feeling worthy of it. And that friend really reflected that beautifully. So I'm truly grateful for that reflection. But this is what I mean, the cause, I was the cause for that effect to reflect to me, right? That friend came in my reality because I was the cause. I was feeling that emotion within me on a deeper level, and she reflected that. Even though on the surface I felt offended, I felt upset, I felt sad, but I realized very quickly I was the cause. So until we take full responsibility for everything that is happening in our reality, we cannot make a change. We cannot make a shift. Until we realize that everything that is reflecting in my reality is I am the reason why that is happening, until we have that awareness and that emotional capacity to really hold that and see that as a mirror reflecting our own inner self, until then we will keep moving into that dense and dark energy. We will not manifest, because we will manifest maybe smaller things, not a bigger things. So really understand that. Really understand that. This is really powerful. The cause and effect. You are the cause for every effect that you experience in your life by law. By law. And we cannot deny universal law, because it is a universal law. We cannot pass it. We cannot deny it. We cannot refuse it. We cannot reject it. This is how it works. So when you can realize that, that's when you are ready to shift your dominant frequency. That's when you are ready. So, how do you change your reality? What are the steps to change your dominant frequency? So, the number one thing is the active participation in creation. So, actively participating in creation of your own life. Most people sit with the circumstances. They think that this life is happening to me. I cannot do anything. It's not in my hand. People are bad. Government is bad. Things are bad, and everything is bad. And they think they have no power. But ultimately, you have the power. You have to become active participant in creating your life. So how do you become active participant? By being really mindful of what is your dominant frequency. How do you think? How do you feel? Really becoming aware. Awareness is the key. Awareness can shift your dominant frequency. How many times in a day you feel sad? How many times in a day you feel angry? How many times in a day you feel happy? How many times in a day you feel joy, peace? How many times in a day you feel frustrated, anxiety, fear? Really becoming aware. If you have to track it, track it. Really becoming aware that how many times a day you do that. And the more you're repeating fear, anxiety, sadness, anger, the more you will manifest the same thing over and over. Right? So becoming active participant in your own life, in creation of that, making sure that your thinking is matching with your desire. So once you have the $1 million, or once you have the life of joy and peace and freedom and abundance and love, how would you be feeling? What would you be thinking? What would be your dominant feelings? And if you can map that out, then you are now actively participating in your own life. You are the creator of your own life, so you must actively participate. You cannot be passive and blame everything else but you. You can't do that. You must become aware of how you operate so that you don't operate in limitation, but actually move in abundance, in flow. The second thing is your disciplined thinking. You must become so disciplined in what you think. So instead of thinking lack, how can you think abundance? How you can think abundance? By counting blessings, by becoming aware of everything that you are grateful for, all the good things that happened, all the things that you have in your life, the food on the table, the bills that you are able to pay, the house that you are able to live, the wardrobe filled with clothes, right? Being able to go out, being able to go to supermarket and buy anything you want, abundant of things available easily, so easily. We don't realize how easy our life is, how abundant we are, because back in the days, thousands and thousands of years ago, we had to hunt. Our ancestors, they had to hunt. They did not have a supermarket. They did not have to go to a specific market to get things. They had to hunt things from different places, sometimes different towns, sometimes different villages. They had to go to further away to get what they wanted. For one thing, they probably had to walk miles and miles to get one thing. And here we are, we have a supermarket filled with things. We can get anything. Abundance of things available on our doorstep. How abundant are we? So really discipline your thinking in only focusing on abundance, only focusing on gratitude, only focusing on generosity. How can I give more? How can I really be grateful for things? How can I operate in that energy of love and giving and generosity and gratitude? How can I move into that? And the more you do that, more you discipline your thinking, you catch yourself every time you go into suffering and pain and sadness and anger and fear, you catch yourself and you come back to that gratitude, you are now shifting your dominant frequency. You're now recognizing that your thinking and your emotions are creating your reality. And the more disciplined you are, people become very disciplined with their body, right? They go to gym, they work out, they eat healthy, they really focus on their weight, they focus on what they're eating, what they're putting inside their body. They become very diligent in everything. Exactly the same way, I want you to be diligent in your thinking. See that as a manifestation gym. Your manifestation gym or your spiritual gym, right? I love the idea of spiritual gym. But, recognizing that you are in your spiritual gym where you are mastering your thinking, you're mastering your feeling, because when you're thinking positively or good and gratitude feeling and thinking, your feelings are shifting into more love and joy and peace. That is you growing spiritually. If you can master your thinking, you are growing spiritually. Your consciousness will rise. That will create the abundance, that will create the manifestation of your desires, and it will change your reality in such a beautiful way. And then the final thing is your subconscious identity. Your identity is not about what people say, how you look on the outside, but how you see yourself in the inside. It is you seeing yourself from the inside. Do you see yourself broken? Do you see yourself sad? Do you see yourself unworthy? Do you see yourself not good enough? That is the identity we want to shift in, because your identity is the one that magnetize that reality that you desire. If it's in a positive way, if it's in a right direction. If it's in the wrong direction, if it's in the place of abandonment, unworthiness, sadness, then again, it is creating your reality, but not desired reality. It is creating the opposite of it, right? So your subconscious identity really matters. Your identity is so powerful. If one thing you want to work on is your identity, how you see yourself, your subconscious identity. And this is the deeper work that I do with my client, because the truth is, people who are really look really good on the outside and they dress very well. Women, a lot of women, if you notice, women who do a lot of work on themselves, on a physical body, they do a lot of work on themselves. But actually, if you realize, they're still attracting men who are toxic or manipulative, and they are, because their subconscious identity is not matching with the identity they externally. They are not feeling good enough. They're not feeling worthy. So they keep changing things on the outside. They keep improving their looks. But from the inside, they still feel that insecurity that I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I need to fix this. I need to fix that. I need to fix this. I need to fix whole my face. I need to fix my body. I need to fix everything. And they're still not feeling worthy. Why? Because the subconscious identity is, I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. The little girl within them is feeling sad, feeling upset, feeling not good enough. So they go into that trajectory and they keep attracting people who are actually horrible to them, unkind to them. So this is why the subconscious identity is not about the looks. It's about how you see yourself. You see yourself. And the way you see yourself, that's what changes your dominant frequency in a very, very powerful way. So all those three things are really important in order to shift your dominant frequency. And once your dominant frequency is shifted, you will change your reality. There's no denying. I can guarantee that. I can write it for you, that once you've shifted, once you actively participated in your life, once you disciplined your thinking, once you change your subconscious identity, I can guarantee you your life will change. I can guarantee it. And if you really want to make that shift faster, if you want to heal the wounds, the core wounds that are keeping you stuck, that is not allowing you to live the life of freedom, peace, abundance, wealth, so that you can really embody the life that you desire. I mean, end of suffering, like ultimately end that suffering so that you live the life of peace and joy. If you really want to do that, then you can click the link below to apply for my mentoring and really see what is possible for you, because most people cannot even allow themselves to see what is possible for them. They keep living in resistance, not in expansion. They think, oh, the money, this, that, time. They create all those stories to keep themselves in limitation. But their limitation is not creating their reality. If someone can show you what it looks like to live a completely different life where you are living with so much joy, why would you not give yourself permission to have that? Why are you not giving yourself permission to do that? And if you're not giving yourself permission to have that, you are creating your own limitations. You are the cause of your effect, right? You are the cause. So really become aware that if the help and support and really divinely guided messages are available where someone can show you how to shift into that identity where you are living your desired reality that can pour into abundance, wealth, why would you not allow yourself to have that? That's why I said really pay attention to resistance. And if you are moving through that threshold and now you're like, no, I am going to allow myself that, then this is your moment to click the link below to apply for my mentoring and really see what is possible. Because a lot of people, they don't even know the possibility that they have within them, the power that they have within them, because they are so attached or so in their own lack and limitation. And if you are ready to change that, then this is your moment. Click the link below to apply for my mentoring. Other than that, like this video if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And may the light in me reaches the light in you.